Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to teamfortress.tv, where this evening we are pleased to be bringing you ESEA Invite Season 21 action. We'll be watching this evening Hands Off and the Bugs, a pair of 1 and 4 teams in a showdown on CP Sunshine. This will all be produced by our good friend Mathsad, aka Dash Sniper, aka the King of Rock and Roll. Before I introduce my co-caster, Truktruk, I have a quote. Nobody judges sharper than the uneducated. He knows neither argument nor counter-argument and thinks himself always right. Do you know that one, Kurt? Have you ever heard that quote?
No, I'm just
No?
laughing for no reason. Yeah, I've never heard
Okay,
that
well,
before.
the reason I bring it up is that you made a really great point today during your stream about this season of Invite, which is that for a lot of seasons now, Invite has been very predictable in terms of results. And a lot of people could just look at what teams were playing and they could tell you every time who was going to win, and they were right. But we're not having that this season so far, are we, Kurt? It's quite the opposite.
No, no, we're not. Oh man, sorry, you hit my funny bone. You hit it. You swung and you hit it. All right. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, I said it because that's what I believe. I think this game should be a good one for sure. I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
hands off this season has been underperforming, and I believe the Bugs kind of have been too. And I think this game kind of just is like a battle between two teams that just really want to get back on the right foot.
yeah, I mean, to me, for so many seasons, several seasons, we've been looking at squads like this. We'll tell you what. Let's go down through the roster. We'll talk a little bit more about Invite after that. The roster for Hands Off, we have Dingo on Medic. We have Blank, who we'll talk about in a second. Soldier. We have Pelt Demo, High Five Scout, Slamberg, Slammin on Soldier, and we have Cheesy MacGyver, Scout. Kurt, I'll just say it now before I forget, because we were talking some stats. Blank, so far this season in ESEA Invite, he's got the third highest DPM of any player, second only to Dewatna and Badonsky. And that's crazy because he's been doing it kind of quietly, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was definitely a surprise to me when you told me that. We know Blank as a very strong pocket, but not third highest DPM in ESEA strong, like especially on a team that's struggling to win games so far this season. So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we flip over? We'll have a look at the Bugs as well. Like I say, both of these teams are 1 and 4, and are dying to get a victory. Let's see. On the other side, the Bugs. I don't have the overlay. We'll talk about them in a minute.
I got the Bugs for you. I think the overlay's broken because of one of the players on the Bugs, like ESEA
right.
profiles, like all screwed up.
We were told this, and I forgot.
We do have the Bugs. Both their scouts are Newspeak and Moo. Their soldiers are Goldfish and Digi, Pocket and Roamer respectively, and Demo Man is Mousy as well as Medic in Bopper. So I think this is a very strong team. Like they've shown some really bright spots throughout their games, even ones that they have lost throughout the season. I think it's just a matter of them putting it all together and putting it all together in one game and finishing it out. As we did see the Bugs in our last cast of the Bugs. They were pretty much handling Bird Noise until they let the game slip away. So hopefully you don't see the same thing this time around.
Yeah, well, it was a 4-3, and we're seeing so many of these. Surprising about it is that we've been looking at Saloon.tf all season long to see what teams people are betting on to win. We've been asking Twitch chat what they think and what people are writing in match threads. And if you're not necessarily following Invite closely and you're not watching these games, even in games that you and I have covered, Kurt, Titanium White, for example, the first Snakewater match they did, they came out and nobody was really necessarily expecting them to dominate, but they dominated, and it was crazy, and it was awesome. Bird Noises in just the very last cast that we just did, they were not favored. It was about an 80-20, I think, a disadvantage that people were kind of thinking they were going to get mopped up, and Bird Noises pulled that one out. And so It's not predictable anymore. As we look at some of the matchups, we have Dingo versus Bopper. Shot out of a cannon, Kurt. Who is better, Dingo or Bopper, or are they too close to call? I'm putting you on the
I don't know.
spot.
Like every time I see Dingo on Medic, it really like it's just painful because like I know I'm sure he's doing fine as Medic in my opinion, but he is like so good at Demo Man and Soldier.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like they don't have room on hands off to like fit him on Demo or Soldier, but damn, like every time I see Dingo on Medic, it's just like what is going on? But yeah, so far this season he's been playing really well. I think Bopper has been playing really, really well as well, dishing out the heals in the correct targets. But judging by these statistics, they're about even. It looks
Yeah.
like Dingo has more Ubers. It's kind of hard to judge from stats side by side because
Yes.
sometimes games last longer. Sometimes your heal priority is different. Like uh, if you're healing your pocket more, you're probably getting more assists. But if you're healing your demo man, you're probably not. I don't know. I think they're both playing pretty well from what I've seen. It's hard to judge by statistics when it comes to Medic unless they're like
Medics, yeah.
glaringly terrible. But they're
Yeah.
fine. They're both fine.
Well, let's look at Blank versus Goldfish. Actually, the real matchup I want to talk is we don't have it because of the way the stats work. Is Goldfish and Slamberg, the old kind of they had so many great showdowns when they were both at the top of IM, which I've had the privilege of casting, geez, probably 2 or 3 of those. But Blank versus Goldfish, we already talked about Blank and what he's been doing in terms of stats. 320 DPM puts him top 3 in DPM so far, at least this season. But Goldfish, no slouch either, right?
Actually, I think Goldfish has been from the games I've watched. He's hasn't been doing as good as I know Goldfish as a player.
Yeah.
I think especially in that Bird Noises game, he got a metric ton of heals and really didn't do that much damage with the heals. And if
Yep.
you're getting a ton of heals, you need to be putting out that damage. And as you can see, Blank is really putting out that damage, averaging 320 DPM. That's pretty ridiculous. But as you can see here, I guess when both teams are 1 and 4, both these players have negative KDs here. So
Yeah, I mean, though, if you look at the stats, you don't see a whole lot of players, honestly, that have, 1 or above. I think there was a few, but I was speaking actually to Goldfish earlier and just kind of like, seeing how they're all feeling going into this match on Sunshine, and he said he loves playing against old rivals, referring to Slamberg, who is the other soldier on the other side. I don't know. I just like it. They both had such similar play styles in IM. A little bit now they've grown a whole lot as players. I mean, certainly Goldfish has nowhere near the experience and invite as Blank, the vet. But both Goldfish and Slamberg have grown a whole lot, and they really like Sunshine. Yeah, the
really,
Sunshine map.
so the
Yeah.
bugs like Sunshine. That's news to me because I
Well,
don't.
actually, the people I spoke to both Goldfish and Slamberg,
Oh,
and
really?
they both love Sunshine. Go figure. Is
Interesting.
that surprising to you?
Yeah, I haven't heard many players speak much like whether it be negative or positive. I just haven't heard many players speak much about Sunshine. It's just a map. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just there. But apparently these guys love it. So I'm excited to watch this match.
Yeah,
For
Slamberg
sure.
says it's one of his favorite maps. Goldfish says it's his favorite. So I mean, is that like, I don't know, is that a soldier thing? I mean, we do see soldiers do a whole lot. It is a wide open map. I didn't have a chance to talk to either of these demos though. We got Pelt versus Mousy. I mean, does it favor soldiers more so than demos, Kurt, or is it even, or
The
what's your view?
midpoint, in my opinion, kind of favors scouts because of how huge it is, like big open areas with a lot of places to dance around. Kind of favors scouts, but from what I've seen in at least pickup games, like higher level pickup games, sometimes you can. It seems fairly easy to get behind the enemy team as a roaming soldier, and maybe a pocket soldier as well on those mid points or mid fights where you are sometimes running gunboats. So maybe we'll see some shenanigans from the soldiers going in deep really early on in these mids. But overall, I think like the big open areas kind of favor scouts on this mid, but pretty much every other area, uh, like the second point and the last points, I think it does favor soldier and demo because they're a little bit more enclosed.
Yeah, maybe even sniper as well. Telton Mousy, I mean, we're looking at all these matchups. The numbers are very similar for almost all of these matchups. Maybe now Slamberg, maybe with a slight edge over Digi, though, in terms of Soldier. Would you agree there? As the numbers kind of spell it out. Are the numbers lying to me, Kurt?
Damn, like I'm looking at all of these hands-off player statistics, and they're
Wondering why
all
they're 1-4.
pretty good. Like, why are they 1-4? Like,
Exactly.
when you look at a player to player, like down their roster, they are not even close to a 1-4 team. Like, they are a top 4 team in my opinion. But no, that's not how the season's playing out. So yeah, I'm very interested to watch this team play because I think I've only watched 1 or 2 of their games, and yeah, they've struggled as a team. Apparently, they haven't struggled individually, at least on their soldier side. But even though Digi's stats are not nearly as impressive as Slamberg's, Digi has shown a lot of creativity and proactive play. Like, to be a good roaming soldier, obviously you want to put out the damage, you do want to frag, but there are points where you want to just straight up just die and force the other team's medic. And we have seen Digi do that time and time again. You don't get a stat for forcing the other team's medic. That you get a death. That's pretty much all you get. But Digi has done that time and time again. So I do like Digi as a soldier, even though his stats don't stack up to
I agree with
Slamberg's.
you. I'm totally there with you. We saw in some of we've gotten a chance to see Digi this season. You and I have, and certainly you guys out there have seen Digi in some of the other casts too that the other casters did. But he knows how to make plays. We're looking at Cheesy MacGyver and Newspeak. I think we could talk a ton probably about these scouts, couldn't we, Kurt? You can compare the stats there for yourself. Cheesy MacGyver, I mean, boy, oh boy, he was way up there as well in terms of some stats I was looking at. But we saw Newspeak go crazy the last Gully match we did, didn't we, Kurt?
Yeah, I did like Newspeak's play on the Gully Wash map. He was basically dictating his team's pushes in stalemate situations, just constantly forcing 1v1s and persistently winning them, helping his team take control of the first half of that game we casted, the Bugs versus Bird Noises on Gully Wash. But again, Cheesy MacGyver, no newbie to invite. He's doing great as usual. Absolutely fantastic player. Very nice guy too. I'm just really blown away. Like, every time I'm looking at all these stats for hands off, and then you just look at their record. They're 1-4. It's really puzzling to see.
Yeah, now, I mean, you've got to consider, obviously, these teams are facing different matchups. I mean, Hands Off have had to face Ascent, EVL, and Froyotech all in a row, actually. So, kind of maybe some high-scoring games where you kind of rack up the stats, but you're just kind of outclassed, unfortunately. But that all balances out.
That actually is a very good point, because the teams you just listed are, I think, without a doubt, the top 3 teams in Invite: Froyotech, EVL, and Ascent. So it's no surprise that they are losing those games. But even then, I really think they should be pulling out one of those games, maybe. Especially not losing to Titanium White with this roster. Like, maybe it was just because it was the first game of the season. But if Hands Off really wants to, like, get back in stride, they're probably going to be looking to roll the Bugs this game, in my opinion. If not, then the struggles might just continue.
Something Slamberg said to me just earlier was really kind of poignant and kind of important, I think. He said that, I don't know how serious this is, but he said if we lose this match, we're not going to make top 4. You look at the logjam of teams that are all sort of jockeying to try to make their way up in, the standings. I mean, what do you make of that? You're 1-4. You don't want to go 1-5. We saw Bird Noises last cast we did, who were 1-4, and they luckily picked up a win. I mean, what do you make of all this? We're nowhere near playoffs, obviously, but it is important, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you don't want to fall down 1-4, especially when you go into the season thinking you're going to make playoffs. Like, I imagine Hands Off thought they were number 3, number 4 at very least coming into the season, and they're tied for last. They need to win. Like, they need to win these games that they're supposed to win, in my opinion. Like, in their minds, they're supposed to win this game, and we will see if that happens.
Yeah, if you guys have your ideas of how you think this one might go down, you can tell us in Twitch chat. Are we ready to start doing Preds here? It looks like almost everyone's in server. Kurt, do you have a fave?
Um, I've been kind of talking up Hands Off. Like, they have been underperforming this season, but I really do feel like they are the stronger team. I'm gonna go with 5-2 Hands Off.
Yeah, the Saloon would agree with you actually as well. They're about 65% favorites over there on Saloon.tf from all the betters. But you know what? I mean, excuse me. I again, I feel okay going with the opposite team, Kurt. It's not that I hate you, but
I-
the Bugs team. I mean, I think it's maybe a little more equal than 65-35. I mean, I think that anything could happen, especially this is the first match for each of these teams on this map. I mean, they've been playing a ton. Like, I was watching Hands Off practicing right before this match. But anyway, I'll quit rambling on. How about I say 5-3 for the Bugs?
Yeah, and if the Bugs are gonna win this game, they're gonna need Mousy to go huge again. Like, he's been their all-star player in my opinion, just doing so much damage every single game. We're gonna need to focus on Mousy's damage and the scouts cleaning up his damage. So here we go on this first mid, Mike.
Well, why don't we watch Mousy then on the very first mid? Mousy gonna grab the pack here and he's gonna make the way out. Gonna have a look and see how this mid is developing. Is just gonna kind of sit back here. Blank going up high here. The scouts, first of all, and Goldfish here as well. Getting a bit of height advantage on the side of red. Looks like some of these hands-off players kind of hurt. Slamberg now going to jump up off around the corner, gets a rocket onto Bopper. Gets taken down on the point there. Slamberg and Blank are both down. That's both soldiers for blue who are going to try to find a door to leave through, Kurt.
Yeah, we were watching Mousy there, and he hits a lot of damage on the scouts early on, which forced Dingo to heal the scouts really early in the mid, which is not what you want to do. And they just capitalize off that damage throughout the rest of the mid as they're pushing through Valley here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Slamberg still wasn't even up, just getting his respawn, and Red going to try to make quick work here, but they're going to have to back up a little bit and think about this. Both medics do have their Ubers, so we're going to expect here.
Digi's hiding above him. Here he comes. One shot.
Digi,
oh my god, he forces the Uber. See, that's what I mean. Just those proactive plays by Digi.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Giving his team that full Uber ad as Bopper and Goldfish are looking for some frags near choke here.
Yeah, some of these doors on this map are very choky, but we have, for example, Slamberg and High Five other side. High Five getting right up, and here's Slamberg trying to hit a rocket.
Moo is going ham right now on a 3K, a 4K from Moo. Just would not die in that cafe area.
Still
just
up.
hitting the meat, and right before she's about to die, she just took that health pack and just proceeded to deliver more meat to the blue team. Here's the Bugs, man. They're on their way to the last point with 50-60% Uber advantage, Mike.
This is Season 21 invite in a nutshell, you know what I mean? Moo's still up now, and she's going to try to make that, 5 or 6 kills here. Is scrambling for a defense right now is Hands Off. They're getting that gun up, still level 1, going to be level 2 here in a second. 95% or so is what we're looking at with Bopper, so they're going to be able to come right in. They're not going to want to wait here, Kurt. Digi down low, but oh boy, they need heals. Goldfish is real hurt. They're going to pop in anyway. They're going to flash it off the Goldfish. You need this gun down, and I don't know, this could be... They really need this gun. This is a disaster, Kurt.
Yeah, Mousy's down. Cheesy just whapping away at his sentry gun, keeping it alive. And here comes Hands Off. Oh my god! Digi almost takes down Dingo with a great jump from that battlements area, but thankfully a pelt was there to save Dingo's life. Wow. Good defense from Hands Off. I don't think the Bugs knew about that sentry gun.
No, well,
they just didn't deal with it at all.
I mean, it's a big last point, isn't it, Kurt? Compared to some other ones, it's a wide area. As we might have an encounter here. Here's Blank just going in for it. He wants to hit some damage, but nobody there. We're going to take this point real easily. But it is a big last point, isn't it, Kurt?
Yeah, it's fairly wide. Pelt did a good job of going into the lobby area, just kind of trapping the Bugs on that left side, forcing them to push through with all 6 people, which resulted in a lot of damage coming their way. With their Uber. As Blank is going in deep here.
Oh, Pelt too. Pelt is jumping in behind, and Pelt now on the lighthouse here. Hits one low pipe and gets taken down by the scout. Boy, oh boy. So far, Hands Off. Not afraid to be going in. The demo jumping in.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Are they trying to bait the Bugs into this push here? They're losing players as they push, so this might be working out. Dingo still has not popped Uber. Dingo is milking like a farmer now, man.
Yeah, we got Slamber going to come back the other way, just take some height here, see if he can pick out some frags. But when all's said and done, we're looking at 6v4 situation, and oh boy, the Bugs are going to have to hit some shots here if they want to hold on here, as Blue coming right on in. Cheesy MacGyver right up in the face, blank up top, Kurt.
Yeah, Cheesy is just putting so much damage in, and they're going to clean up Goldfish. And Moo and Bopper are in a really awkward spot, especially Moo.
High five!
Can high five finish him off?
He's there.
Not dying.
Wow.
Moo is just hitting the meat all game so far on a 7-kill streak. The Bugs are pushing back out here when it seemed really dire for their team.
Dingo!
Oh my God,
Dingo craters! He got hit by a stick and blew up, and there goes Blank as well, and Red gonna push back the other way, and here are the Bugs, who we still have no score here, but
just
both
straight up raw
here.
DM ability coming from the Bug scouts there, just
yeah.
putting out so much damage with a sliver of life, and now they're capping mid with a full Uber advantage.
Oh, there we go, and you know, I don't see any off-classing yet. We gotta wonder, are we gonna maybe see some snipers on the hands-off team? There's some big old lanes. Here's Blank, gonna pop off the Uber, nice force there, and he knows obviously Dingo is nowhere near. Dingo gonna try to hide away here. He's gonna escape, but here we go. It's gonna be about a 30% advantage here now
Wolfish is
for
behind, and he takes out Dingo.
Oh, wow.
High Five is
huge.
trying to back cat mid, but I don't know if that's going to work out. It might work out. There's like 3 battles going on right now. Mousy is like behind everyone.
Cheesy's in on Bopper. It takes him out with a big meat shot. Wants Newspeak now as well. Gonna get cleaned up. And here's Pelt with only 2 players. How about hands off, holding off this push, holding off the Bugs team?
Yeah, they did. They
time.
did lose Bopper. There was like 3 different fights going on in that map. You were watching the one at mid, and I was watching the one at 2. So I missed how Bopper died, but they did get Boppers. So good stuff coming from hands off, potentially saving the round for their team and actually giving them Uber advantage as they stay at their second point.
It was your boy, Cheesy MacGyver, hitting 2 shots. One of them a big 100 damage meaty, but there we go. I mean, this has been a hell of a match so far, hasn't it, Kurt?
Yeah.
I get excited, but I mean, this has been great.
Yeah,
there's
really nothing wrong with being excited about some good TF2.
Yeah, it's the first time we've kind of slowed down for any longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be picking right back up as Dingo and friends are walking into mid with that Uber ad.
There's Blank. Blank comes right across, but here's Gigi wants to come in on Blue, and wow. Underneath point now, gets caught in Valley, but kind of timing that perfectly. He is still up though, but Blue looks like they're gonna get the better of this fight. Moo is in. Wow.
Moo
did get Dingo. She goes down for her troubles, but that's wow. And now another huge. I mean,
they're gonna want to keep Bopper alive here, and Blank and his team are just looking for blood right now. Bopper, Mousy, and Newspeak are gonna start moving forward through this cafe, or maybe Mousy's kind of alone in choke here. They're kind of slowing it down, but they're gonna want to take this midpoint without having to use Uber here.
Yeah, they don't want to wait. I've got to think hands off for the challenge though. Some damage, lots of spam coming in. They want to try to back these guys off here. Goldfish is going to take the upper here up on mid, and it looks like they are going to be able to take this point, which is great. Again, no off-classing, nothing like that, but you know, just face down the spam, and here they go. They want to use through choke here.
Yeah, well, they want to keep their advantage, and in order to do that, they got to pop through to kill Dingo or get a bunch of frags, and so far they've only gotten 1. Goldfish is going into that lobby area with that 300 health buff, and he's actually going into last. Is he trying to get Dingo here? No, he's just spamming it out. Slamberg's way behind right now. What's going on with this? Looks like everybody on the Bugs are well aware of Slamberg's behindness. But Moo's just taking the 1v1 and winning it.
There we go.
Just feeling it this game. She's at like 10 frags already. It's not even over the first round.
We have more fighting going down here. Slamberg, the only one down, but yeah, like you said, well, I'm looking right now at Pelt. It looks like Blue kind of waiting now for the push to come out of Red here, although Red doesn't have Uber yet.
Yeah, they, Slamberg basically went in for a sack with for his team. I don't know, like he got caught behind, but it kind of worked as a sack. As Blank might get a pick here. They're looking to get aggressive in lobby, but they might just back off knowing that Bopper just got his Uber. But Dingo is in a really awkward spot here, taking a rocket from Goldfish. And probably is going to back off as High Five does take down Digi. They do trade.
Nice
It
play.
looks like they're going to be trading Ubers here.
Slamberg's coming up. They don't know Slamberg. Here's Slamberg in behind the medic, and Bopper can get out of the way, but they lose Mousy and Newspeak. Slamberg's still up. That was great, and they get the Uber force as well. Now Red are going to have to try to make something of this, but I'm not feeling it, Kurt.
Mousy somehow piped Dingo in lobby. I have no idea where Mousy was. I think he was lower and just piped Dingo down from 100 health and he dropped. It just straight up dropped.
Well,
the
again,
Bug's Uber wasn't that great, but your medic's still alive. You have a slight advantage here. They might be looking to dry push here if they can focus down that sentry gun, which they do. Both soldiers going in deep, doing so much damage with Mousy just dishing out so much damage at the spawn and hitting a pipe on full scout. Mousy just crushing hands off at the entire last minute of that round. Oh my god, hitting every sticky and every pipe it seemed there, Getawhale.
It was another situation where we had two huge stack plays going on at the same time because as you were watching that, like I say, Slamber came up and took out almost half of the Bugs. But anyway, we're here on this mid. I'm on Pelt looking at him to see what he can do to kind of back off this Bugs team. Here's Goldfish. He's coming right in. He spots Blank out. Hits one rocket onto him. And now he's kind of over in this cafe area. His old buddy Slamberg hitting some damage. It takes him down. Mousy down too and Move. With just bodies exploding everywhere.
Slamberg is going to be looking to get Bopper here.
Yeah, here's Slamberg.
Otherwise, Bopper might be able to... Oh, Bopper just shoots him down. No problem. Cheesy might actually be pushing Bopper here.
Yeah,
it looks like
Cheesy
he
wants
is.
it. Yeah,
if Cheesy can get Bopper here, it's probably the round's over if he gets it here. Is he? One more shot. Come on, Cheesy. You can do it. There you go, Cheesy. So that's looking really good for hands off here. Giving Dingo probably like a 70% ad pushing into last. As long as Pelt lives here. Moo is looking for blood, though. Moo's getting in deep. Newspeak goes down, but Moo is backing off. So good trap from Pelt. Great stuff from hands off. Great react. Great mid. And great job pushing Bopper.
Great frag vid for Bopper. That'll keep an eye out for the Bopper frag vid, guys. That big arrow kill.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. So now just building over here, Dingo's holding on to a lot of advantage. First time attacking this last point for hands off. Gonna try to play it real safe here. We got Newspeak up on Sniper Kurt, and we've seen Newspeak make a big difference. A lot of wide open angles here on last two, aren't there, Kurt? You gotta kind of pick right though. It's kind of luck of the draw.
Bopper and Goldfish are playing really close,
here we go.
and Dingo and Blank recognize that and just take him out for free with their Uber. Their Uber's really not doing much else, but they do have good positioning on this last point as Cheesy is getting a lot of time. There's so much spam going on to the point as the scouts are desperately trying to edge it out. High Five just hitting the meat, just two-shotting the demo and the scout that was near the point and then finishing off the cap. So good stuff from hands off, capitalizing off of their huge advantage that they got from winning that mid so handily.
Oof, this is wicked. Who do you want to watch on this mid, Kurt? Take us through it.
I don't really know. Let's watch Pelt again. Seems like it's the battle of the demos early on in these mids. He's going through his own flank here. He's trying to sticky off some of the scouts. He's kind of hitting the stickies. Looks like Goldfish is going in deep, but Pelt is getting pressured really down. He was down to like 5 health there, and Newspeak chips him out from across the map. And Dingo is under a lot of pressure. He's down. Wow, Slamberg and Blank are nowhere to be found. Actually, there's Slamberg. I couldn't even see him. He almost takes down Bopper to salvage that mid for his team, but he does not. So the Bugs, the tables are just flipping, flopping, flipping, flopping. Tables are turned once again. We're just spinning the table around. Whose side is it on right now? It's on the Bug side. They have that full Uber ad pushing into last.
They sure do. Looking now at that good defense that's being set up here. Got Pelt pushing up. He's going to try to patrol this shutter door here and whatnot. Blank, I don't know. I mean, I got to think Blank thinking of making a play here almost, just from what we've seen.
Trying to get that early damage out. He wants to force the Uber before they get to that last point, but the Bugs are meticulously walking into lobby, forcing in with Mousy and Goldfish, trying to do some damage. This is a really awkward Uber so far. They do focus on the sentry gun. Slamberg's locking out Digi and another scout. Oh, and I guess they just kept. Their Uber didn't seem too great, but I guess what it did is it pushed the hands off back into their spawn, which made them come out of their other spawn door, which allowed Moo to just get on the point, not really take much damage, cap the point. Do the objective, Mike.
Do the objective. PTFO. As a great man once said. I'm looking at Goldfish on this middle. I'm thinking Goldfish going to want to take some height advantage here is what I've been seeing so far. The double jump in, hit one rocket down kind of into the crowd of blue. Now, here comes his buddy, that's Slamberg in, who actually gets cleaned up by Mousy. Dingo's flying all around as well as under some duress here. Moo on point goes down. Digi in on the medic. Gonna get Dingo there. Bopper's still up here, but I'm looking at Scouts doing some 1v1s, Kurt.
Bopper was just shooting arrows to his teammate like half that minute. Just didn't look too hot, but they might still win that mid. He arrowed Newspeak at least twice there to save his life, and Newspeak actually gets a 2K for his troubles. So It worked out in the end, but Dingo is going to have a slight add as he, no, they both got the same respawn timer,
yeah,
so.
but we have a switch, Kurt.
Even Uber.
We've got a switch over to Crits Krieg on the side of hands off. So blue with their Crits Krieg, there is a Crits watch officially.
Yeah, that is actually a very
effect.
proactive decision by Dingo.
Yep.
He knew both medics got the same respawn timer, and he's giving his team straight up crits advantage. They don't want a stalemate, I guess. They just want to keep going. Like, it could have stalemated out, and they could have methodically worked their way to mid, but they're looking to just crush the Bugs right now with this Crits Krieg, and I don't think the Bugs know at all. Let's see how they're positioned here.
Let's see who they give it to. I've got to think once they come around this corner now, they've got it. Are they going to use? They pop it off. Now here we go with the crits. They get Newspeak right away. Going to try to get, oh wow, hell, just not with an angle to get anything else here, and that's going to be the crits. Now it's enough for them to get this point, but here comes the repush any second here, Kurt. 100%
Mathsad is
Uber.
all by himself in that flank area. Cheesy and High Five are going to take him out, but yeah, the Bugs coming back with their Uber. Taking
they
this
want to
point
clean
for
this up
free.
here. There's players scattered around. Dingo and Slamberg are ready to come back in here, Kurt, and they're still up on crits because Dingo did not die. And I don't know, they're maybe thinking
It is kind of awkward because they don't have scouts alive right now, and the Bugs are not afraid. They're just walking right in. They know Dingo doesn't have crits just yet, and they're just getting in their face.
Remo gonna go in on Dingo. Neat shot, neat shot. Now Dingo able to escape, just barely there. Not wanting to overextend, but the Bugs just going to kind of prepare here and get ready. Unfortunately for them, Dingo's going to get that crits first. So, I mean, do you sack here, Kurt, if you're the Bugs, or what?
It's fine. You, like, having crits defending your last is unbelievably awkward, especially on a really enclosed map like this. They're going to have to push all the way out to this battlements area to even, like, do anything. And Slamberg is making some room for his team as Digi is counter-jumping him, trying to see where not High Five.
That's where the combo is.
Hands off are. And I guess the crits actually scared them off so much where they gave up the point, but Bopper is going in with the Zuber, I guess.
Let's see what forced them. They do get Slamberg there, but I don't know, maybe this psychological game. Here it is! The crits popped off. They can see Digi here. They get Newspeak down. That wasn't on the crits. Again, just nothing doing on this crits here, and Dingo actually fell that time. I don't know. It was a good idea in theory.
Just cleaning up here with Mousy and Bopper. Cheesy's trying to make a huge play on the Bopper here. If Cheesy doesn't get Bopper here, it's looking really bad for his team, and he does not. So Bopper with probably like a 30-40% advantage pushing into last here, and they actually, no, they're not going to dry push. It's only 3 of them. They have slight ad. Very good stuff. They just gave up the point, gave hands off so much room to push out with their crits, and they had a really awkward crits. Granted, the Bugs did have an awkward Uber as well. They just had great health and positioning because they backed off, which helped them win that fight.
Hands off playing actually a little bit more back than they have been, than what I've been seeing them do anyway. Usually Pelt playing way up. He's going to be sticking off that shutter door there now. Looks like Dingo wanted to, I don't know here. Soldiers just kind of doing their thing. Lots of damage. It looks like Bugs now are into lobby. Mousy really hurt. Goldfish hurt as well, but they don't care. They're going to come right in this right side. Getting lots of damage. Trying to force this team into their spawn. Down goes the gun. 2 players already. Dingo and Blank down. This looks good for the Bugs, but they got to clean it up, Kurt. Goldfish trying to get some rockets.
Mousy is not getting pressure at all. He's just sticking the point. His team just needs to get on it. Just there they go. That was basically the same Uber that they had last round they won, but instead of pushing the team back into their spawn, they just killed them. So they just killed them instead of pushing them back into spawn. So they really like that top right push with their pocket and demo when they have that ad. And man,
we're just
already halftime, and the Bugs are winning 3-1. That's not what I expected at all.
No, I don't think a lot of people expected that. I'm having a look here at the stats. Hopefully we have that up for you. Oh boy. You know, the DPM always sticks out to me. Some people say that doesn't matter a whole lot, and they're right, but 345 DPM for Goldfish. On the other side, Blank 318,
they're going
which is
live.
about his average. They are going live. Look at this. They don't care. They're doing it.
We can't even talk about stats. I was ready to have a breather and talk about some stats, analyze some DPMs, some kills, some deaths, but no. We're here at mid here. I'm watching Pelt once again. It seems like the demos are dictating the early parts of this mid, whereas the soldiers are dictating the middle parts. As I'm going to switch to Blank, who's jumping onto the top right shed, and he's getting counter jumped by Goldfish, and Blank is out of the fight. As two of his teammates go down, this is looking really bad for hands off, especially if Dingo goes down. Mousy getting in deep. Dingo is just dodging like a maniac. Is he actually going to get out, or is he just going to get meleeed to death for his troubles? Oh my god! Wow.
Closing it out with a little
And
sword kill.
like that
How?
caused his team to win mid. Dingo's just jukes like caused his team to win mid because everybody on the bugs was trying to get Dingo, but he was just juking all of those stickies from Mousy. He was like running at Mousy, just doing the bamboozle strategy. Like, why is a medic running at me? I'm Demo Man. But it worked, and it gave his team time to get health and jump back in and clean up the frags.
And Dingo
So both
going
mechs
crits
went
here.
down.
Yeah, Dingo has switched over to crits again. You know, we talked at the start about, you know, we think of Dingo playing these other explosive classes and not med, but a lot of the skills are the same, aren't they, Kurt? I mean, you take a lot over from those classes, don't you? As Moo goes down here right off the bat.
Yeah, the only
mean,
benefit to that sack might have been Moo seeing Crits Krieg on Dingo as they rotate all the way across mid to that flank area as they approach their Uber charge on that Crits Krieg. I think that's the correct way of saying it. Crits
Yeah,
charge,
well, there they go,
help.
popped off.
And there it is!
Ah, there's Bopper down. Finally, now the third try on that. Goldfish is down kind of out of sight, hiding, if you could call it that. Maybe waiting to come up and surprise someone. Well, the Goldfish can. Oh, I don't know here. He's getting ready. Here's Goldfish. He's gonna find Slamberg, his old buddy. Take him down easily. But meanwhile, the push is coming in to last. Right now, there's nothing. Pop, just kind of a dry push, and Blank onto that point caps about half of it. Help trying to patrol it. He takes down Mousy. Goldfish gonna go down as well. A nice pick there, and just this hands-off team swarming last, and we've got 3-2, Kurt. Really impressive dry push.
Yeah, good stuff from Dingo, switching to crits there. I didn't really like when he switched to crits when his team lost the mid and both meds went down, but his team won mid and both meds went down, and pushing into second with that crits is much easier than pushing into mid with that crits. As we head into the mid here, Michael,
I'm on the Slamberg cam because I feel like Slamberg's got a play in him here. He hasn't had a play in, 60 seconds or so. He's up in the air, gets a rocket. Mousy real low there. Bopper gonna just kind of save Mousy's life. Meanwhile, over here, Goldfish gonna take his jump in up top, and sort of all the blue players trying to kind of walk across point here, but they don't know Slamberg maybe he's behind them. With lots of frags though going down back at mid. We've got Digi in, gonna take down Dingo and Blank going down. Here's Slamberg though, just kind of no one to love him. He's just kind of...
Yeah, Pelt and Slamberg are looking to get Bopper here. Their medic went down, and they are desperately trying to get Bopper, as Bopper does have Uber. He can force Uber here.
Let's try.
He was unable to, but good stuff from the Bugs once again, just taking over that mid. It's just been back and forth. Whichever team wins mid, the other team wins at the next round. So the Bugs got it.
They do. They seem confident. Do the Bugs seem like the more confident team to you, Kurt? That's
Both teams seem very confident in how aggressive each team is playing. There's no stalemates. They think they're going to win. Each team thinks they're going to win every single fight. And
that's good. That's
providing for some great TF2.
Yeah. So now Digi gets in real kind of early here. He's just trying to spy out some stuff. Not literally spy. Meanwhile, the hands-off defense kind of going up. They're just kind of doing this little spam thing. Slamberg down low.
Yeah, and Goldfish does get Ubered on really early.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Again, Mousy and Goldfish on the top right, but they don't really push anybody back into spawn except for Dingo. Hands off are pretty far back. They are taking a lot of damage as Bopper actually kills the dispenser.
The dispenser, yeah. With his crossbow. He's still backing up here, but Bopper kind of, oh, I don't know. He hit one little arrow on a pelt there. I don't know, he's trying to heal out Goldfish.
Everybody on hands off is so hurt. Is Mousy going to be able to finish this off? No, Goldfish is coming in. No, Mousy does finish it off as Blank's rocket kills Mousy right after they cap the point. Oh my god.
I was just gonna
that was
say
such
how
a
Bopper,
long last fight.
Well, Bopper didn't commit. Bopper was getting out of there to save his own life, but little did he know his teammates. They stuck it out there, Kurt. Why don't you take us through the mid?
Everybody was on a sliver of health there. And I'm going to be watching Slamberg. It seems like, as we said, the tables have been turning back and forth all day. So it's hands-off turn to win mid as Slamberg wins a 1v1 against Digi in his own cafe as he gets traded off with Moo. And the rest of his team are postured up on the other side of the map, and they're losing players one by one. Mousy is behind their team, though, and he gets picked off by Pelt. So we have a 3v3 situation here. Demo, Medic, Scout versus Scout, Soldier, Medic, as Goldfish is looking to get in deep, freeing up some room for Moo, but Cheesy is taking that 1v1. This is the longest mid I've ever seen. Moo's just hitting the meat, going for Pelt, and Pelt just kills him while sticky jumping away. What is going on? So yes, the Bugs do win 2 mids in a row, and they're not done just yet. Goldfish just barely missing the air shot there.
You know, the very start of that mid, a lot of the bugs were very, very hurried. We have Uber popped off. I'll tell you in a sec. If you guys care, they blew Uber back the other way. It doesn't look like a whole lot is going to come out of this. We're just going to reset. The bugs were real hurt, and Pelt was just kind of picking players off. Scouts on the bugs were like 10 health, 15 health. But I guess give credit to Bopper, I guess, for kind of healing them up and reorganizing for the re-push in.
Yeah, hands off was so like scattered throughout that mid. Like they had 2 players on one side of the map and 2 players on the other side of the map, and sometimes that works. But when you get kind of caught out pretty early, it doesn't result in a very strong mid. And the bugs kind of put themselves on top of the midpoint with those heals and just took it over from there on out.
Great poise. They should poise, Kurt.
Well, and again, Moo going huge for her team, like just hitting the meat onto Cheesy after that really awkward long ulti or 3v3 fight at mid, just delivering the frag that was needed for her team.
Red waiting on their Uber here, about to get it. You know, I'm sticking with what I'm saying, that I don't know. I feel like something's not working for hands off here so far, at least. But I mean, the game is not over. We've got tons of time here. They're getting ready to push in here by the looks of it. They've got Blank. They've got their demo Pelt here as well. But here comes, oh wow, nice jump in there by
Digi does force Uber, great stuff, and they get 2 kills. Like while they force Uber, they got 2 kills. Digi is still alive. This is looking so good for the bugs right now. And Goldfish is coming over the top, trying to frag Pelt. He's just walloping him with the escape plan, the skill stick as they call it. And Blank is the last person alive. Just kidding, he's dead. And Cheesy MacGyver is already building a sentry gun at last. This is not looking good for hands off here.
Something is off. Give it to these bugs, man. They've been earning it.
Mousy does go down really early there. That's not good here, Getawhale. They're pushing the last anyway.
Well, here's Goldfish right on point, just going to stand there as the red players have to kind of come in and challenge. Moo's going to come in, trying to clean up the medic. Down goes Dingo again. 4 players up on the side of the bugs. Wow, but look at this. Bopper still just hitting these little arrow shots, but Blue going to think better of it this time. Almost a copy of what we saw last time.
Bopper's going to really want to live here.
75%.
Slamberg is probably going to try to do his favorite thing, which is slamming. It didn't happen, though. I just wanted to say that. I really like when Avast said that in the other cast. Shout out to Avast.
Well, that's
his favorite thing to do.
It was poo-poo.
But they still have Uber advantage because they did pick off Dingo in their push. And Slamberg is going to try slamming, and he does slam. He does force the Uber onto Bopper.
And he'll be missed.
He will be missed. His life was not in vain. He did his job.
He did. Now there's going to be a slight advantage here for Red, who you got to feel like they kind of need it. They've got their gun up right now. It's going to be a level 2 any second here. And down low, Pelt doing kind of the dirty work here, trying to kind of back up these bugs here a little bit. High 5 down low as well, needs to back up and get heals. Slamberg is getting ready. I don't know, like, whenever I see Slamberg, it feels like he's getting ready to do something. You know what I'm saying?
He's charging his rage meter, and when it hits full capacity, he goes in.
Look
but
out.
We have pretty much equal Uber, thanks to the Slamberg factor in this game we have here. So we do have the even Ubers. And,
well, for hands off, I mean, you got to think they're going to want to try to successfully. Oh no, they get popped here in lobby. They're going to try to make something of it. Slamberg's going to come in on the combo and see what he can do. Bopper has Uber.
They might actually get wrapped here. It looks like they're getting wrapped. They're just charging the last with their Uber here. Oh my god, this is not looking good for hands off, and they just capped the point. Digi doing such a great job forcing that Uber so early, and hands off decided to commit to their Uber even though it was a little sloppy. And the bugs were just like, 4 players are to our right, and the last point is in front of us. Let's just go forward and win the game. So yeah, I was wrong. 5-2. The bugs.
I was real close. 5-3, I said. That is, boy. I don't know what I think of this outcome, Kurt. I'm surprised. I've got to admit, it's nothing. It's no knock on the bugs, but I don't know. Something seemed off.
They look great. I feel like I underestimate them every single game. Like even though we've cast them so many times. They looked really good. Their pushes were just very strong, and their mid fights were also very strong, especially winning 2 crucial mid fights in the second half there.
You know, you look at hands off, and I think a lot of people are falling into this kind of trap, which is hands off seem like the more experienced team. They're the former meat market, of course. You have Blank, who has a billion seasons of experience. Same with Dingo. These guys have all kind of had their turn, almost all of them in Invite. So you call them the favorite coming in, but that's not It's not an automatic anymore in this invite, Kurt.
You know, the season is the season of the bugs and like 20 other teams. It seems like if there was 20 teams in invite, it would be all the teams. Like every single team is just surprising us in every which way this season, and the bugs were looking great.
Yeah,
I really
it's the
like
season
their performance.
it's like the season of the up and comers, isn't it, Kurt?
Yes.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Yes, exactly. That's a better way of putting it. It is the season of the bugs, but it's also the season of the up and comers. I know the bugs are 2-4, but they've looked like they've contested every single team. They didn't really get rolled by any team so far this season, at least the games that we have casted.
Yeah.
Well,
You've got a feel for, I mean, I'm looking at the stat line. You've got a feel for Blank, who on hands off, in a losing effort, he's got almost 10K damage. He is 349 DPM that whole match, which is very, I mean, that's 7 rounds. I mean, he had a hell of a game, Kurt. And, you know, you've just got to ask yourself what happened. I mean, did it feel like they weren't, any guesses what's going on with hands off and why they're, you know, kind of maybe underperforming versus their expectations? Or is it just
I
kind
don't
of
know.
one of those
Like,
things?
I think both teams had a trouble like keeping their medic alive on
Yep.
mid. Like this mid is really awkward for medic. Like,
Yep.
the mids usually tend to last a little bit longer because it's so huge. But recognizing when your team is losing mid and just getting the hell out of there might be why they were just getting, like, both teams were getting so rolled so hard every time they lost mid, it seemed. So I guess that was the only factor that I really seen. There's probably many other factors that you'd have to rewatch the demo, rewatch individual plays, and maybe even like get into the mumble comms and clear up some communication failures that may have been going on in their mumble.
Yeah, I was watching, like I mentioned, Hands Off were scrimming right before this match, and I was watching Blank stream it. It seemed like, I don't know, maybe they have a bit of a noisy mumble. Maybe that's something they're working on, the comms, like you just mentioned. Dingo, unfortunately, dying 17 times versus 7 times for Bopper. But, I mean, we saw Dingo play great, and we talked about how his mechanics are so great, and he's one of the most solid and experienced players in Invite, but unfortunately, I don't know. Like, is it too ballsy, his play? I mean, we saw all those crits plays. One of them paid off great, and it was perfect.
I think the first crits play was definitely questionable, like defensive crits pushing back into mid, but the second crits was actually like fantastic. Like pushing into second with crits there is just really, really proactive and smart. Like it's just a good play. Like it's the correct play in my opinion, and he made it. And I believe his team won that round. So, yeah, I don't know. Like when I see Dingo is a solid med, but whenever I see him on medic, it's just like, why isn't he playing Demo Man or like a soldier class of any kind? He's just like, he's so good at both those core classes. It's just like there's not to knock Pelt or any of the hands off soldiers. They're absolutely fantastic. It's just it always puzzles me seeing Dingo on medic.
Yeah. Goldfish is dying to get in here for an interview. I don't know. Maybe.
Why does he want an interview?
I don't know. He's one of the most famous interview givers in ESEA-I. He had his epic IM interviews. Almost every match we had him interviewed in IM.
Does he have the mumble? If he has the mumble, we'll give him 4 words. He'll be able to say 4 words. How about that?
That sounds fair. Well, why don't you talk for a sec here while I get him the info? We'll get him in here. By the way, I want to add, this might color what we hear from him, but in the pregame, he said to me, I asked him, you know, how are you guys feeling, whatnot. His answer was, we're going to destroy Poop Market. So do we really want to get him in here?
No. You know what?
Maybe next time.
Actually, no. Goldfish, this is what I have to say to you. You make playoffs. Make playoffs, and then you can get some interview. Your team is looking really good. Team's looking really good. Work your way up, man. You're 4-2, or you want to be 4-2. You're 2-4, but you guys look great this game. That's what I'm gonna say live on stream. You work your way up. You guys are looking really strong. Win some more games. And you will get you that 4-word interview that you've been dreaming of.
Something to work towards.
Yeah, there you go. You got another incentive to hit up that MGE. There you go.
Well, There you go. Well, that's those are some prescient words. As you mentioned, the Bugs moving up to 2-4. Unfortunately for Hands Off, they are now sitting at 1-5. We did talk about though how Hands Off have had maybe a much harder schedule thus far, and so maybe as we watch the next few weeks, maybe they'll be able to sort of pick up some more wins against some of the lower teams in the division. But at any rate, we will see how that all plays down. There's a lot of casting coming up this week, as a matter of fact, on teamfortress.tv. If you just simply go to the website, you can see some of the matches. But for example, tomorrow we've got Running with Scissors versus Froyo Tech going to be in action. After that, I mean, later the week, EVL Gaming versus Ascent. That should be a hell of a game. That's going to be Gex and Slyn with Mathsad on camera. Speaking of Mathsad, guys, give him some love. Let's give Mathsad some hearts in chat, or some SM orcs or something at least, for producing this game for us. Any parting words, Kurt?
I shout out to Mathsad once again. Like you guys have no idea. Like if you guys enjoy these casts, like they do happen because of people that volunteer their time, such as Mathsad and Marbler and Mela, who organizes pretty much every single cast. So big shout out to all three of those people. And as you too, Getawhale, you're always fun to be around, especially with that inside joke at the beginning of the cast that almost made me lose my jorts. Almost lost my jorts there. Yeah, my marbs. Oh man, so fun stuff.
Well, we're having fun. Yeah, we're having fun this season. It's a hell of an invite season, probably the most interesting one in a long time. Follow us and stay with us all season long. Of course, YouTube, Team Fortress TV, you're seeing all those highlights. Who will be the next highlight? We'll have to wait and see, but and certainly the website, teamfortress.tv. We're going to get out of here, guys, but thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.